Yo, what's good everybody? It's your boy Eddie here and welcome back to the channel, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And for today's video, we are reviewing the Jarritos Nike SB Dunk Low. And fortunately for me guys, I was able to hit, but I'm not gonna lie, I went to mad skate shops to enter raffles, and some of the ones that I'm like really cool with and I usually hit from, they didn't give me the W, guys. So this is definitely going to be a super limited shoe. But on that note, I'm right here outside of Lick NYC and we just gonna pick this pair up. So I'll catch y'all in a bit, alright? So we back in the crib now, and I have to say these dunks are super fire. But before we even continue guys, make sure that you hit that subscribe button down below as well as that notification bell. And what we got right here, man, is none other than the Jarritos Nike SB Dunk Low. And guys, I'm gonna be 100% with y'all. When I first saw a picture of these, I thought they were cool, I thought they were dope, but after getting them in hand, seeing the actual materials that's on the shoe, these sneakers are insane and are probably one of the best SB Dunk Lows of this year. Definitely I'm gonna say that the Born and Raised SB Dunk Lows are going to be the #1 on the list, but this comes a close second because there's a lot of hidden details as well as the rich history of Jarritos joining Nike SB. I think is really fire as well. So now guys, let's just briefly go over the box details real quick. And as you guys have seen from my Run the Jewels video as well as my SB4 video, we do have the new Nike SB box right here, and it is in that sale colorway, which means we are no longer in the rainbow box era, which was from the beginning of 2020 to now 2023 in March, I believe. Whenever the SB4s came, that was exactly when they transitioned into the new sale box, and I'm a big fan of it. A lot of people are not too crazy about it because it's too simple, but personally I do prefer this kind of simple but shiny box compared to the rainbow box. So now let's just go into the sticker details right there, and it does read off as Nike SB Dunk Low Pro Quick Strike, and the colorway shown here is Phantom and Safety Orange, which there's a lot of orange details in the shoe, believe it or not. And the size that I went with was a size 8.5, which is normally what I get in the SB Dunk Lows. So normally my true to size is a size 8, but I always recommend to go a half size up in SB Dunk Lows, just due to the fact that it has that thicker tongue as well as the thick zoom insole right there. So definitely, regardless of what size you wear, I definitely recommend to 100% go a half size up. Now, when going into the history of the shoe, there's a lot of it because Jarritos has been around for about 73 years. Originally created in 1950 by Don Francisco Hill, this was one of the first kind of naturally flavored drink brands that was created, especially in Mexico City. So he pretty much just changed the game, pulling up with different natural drinks. And believe it or not, the first flavor that he actually created was coffee, or café as you would call it in Spanish. And that sounds insane to me because I'm not personally a coffee fan. I don't like coffee, I don't drink it at all. But then came in the tamarindo, naranja, which is orange. Then we got the grapefruits, which is one of my favorites, as well as the mango, which is also one of my favorites, lime, and many more other different flavors that are just too much to name in this video right now. And then when looking into the history of Jarritos itself is when you actually look at the name. So when you translate the name from Spanish to English, Jarritos actually means little jugs in English. Also something to note is the fact that in the Mexican culture, they used to actually drink from those clay drinking jugs, and that's kind of how Jarritos formed their brand name together and actually pushed it further by making all these flavorful drinks, and now it's this big brand that we all know today. Also something to note when looking at the inspiration behind the shoe is the fact that when you look at this hemp upper, this is actually to represent the canvas bags that were used to harvest the same fruits that Jarritos made to actually get those flavorful drinks. So that's just something else to note. And yeah guys, that's pretty much going to conclude all the history and inspiration behind the shoe. I don't want to get into the details because they kind of like coincide with the history, so we'll get into that right now guys. So when we actually look at the toe box right here, I am actually 100% surprised. When I looked at the pictures, I thought this was a leather toe box, but just to let y'all know, this is actually suede, and it is a good quality suede. You do have a little bit of that backstroke motion right there, and it's just so buttery, so clean, and just feels great to the touch. Then when we move up onto the shoe, you can see that we have these standard white laces right here. And when we actually look at the tip of them, they are different colored tips. So we do have the green tip right here, And then we also have the orange tip right here to, again, represent the Jarritos brand, Jarritos name, as well as the color of their logo, which I think is pretty fire. Then when we actually look at the tongue of the shoe, you can see that we have more of that hemp detailing right there. And the reason why I'm not calling it canvas is due to the fact that there's a small difference between the feeling of canvas versus hemp. And the hemp kind of has more of this, I don't want to say hairy because it's a plant, but it has this kind of like hairier feeling. It's hard to describe unless you feel it in person. And then guys, which is one of my favorite details about this collaboration, is on the tongue tab itself. So instead of having the Jarritos logo on it, we do have the little jugs filled with orange juice, and I think that's a really fire detail because instead of having Jarritos mad long on the tongue tab itself, it's just a small nice logo that really just gets the point across. Then we have the green Nike check, and we also have the SB logo right there in orange, which again makes the shoe pop. So many different details, and we're just right at the beginning of it. Then when we go into the lateral side of the shoe, this is when we really start getting into it. So we have more of that light brown hemp detailing right here. Then we have suede in the quarter panel, which is pretty interesting. Then when we go into the Nike check, we do have a nice green hemp check right there. And something else to note, guys, is the fact that this is a tearaway feature. So if I were to cut open the Nike check, which I'm totally not doing because I love this original design, but if I were to cut it, it would have a nice orange detail, which I think is in the suede material. And if we were to cut this hemp detail around the mud guard as well as the eyelets area and the back area right here, it would also reveal that orange suede. But again, I do love the contrasting details. Maybe if I were to design it, I might just do a little cutout right here to just expose some orange to make the shoe pop more. Personally, for me, I do like this design right here. It's super clean, super simple, and it just flies very different, man, and a beautiful summer shoe. So if you want to get this shoe, I would probably wait till the sneakers drop so the prices could come down a little bit, because these are way more limited than I expected. I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but a lot of the skate shops that I usually hit from didn't hit me up, so I only was able to get one pair. So big shout out to Lick, and also big shout out to them having this shirt. This was actually the last one in stock when I went to pick up the shoes, so I guess it was just meant to be or whatever. But anyways, when we go back into focusing on the shoe now, we have one more detail right here, and it is with the little jugs or a pitcher, whatever you want to call it, pouring out some naranja or some orange flavored soda right there. And I just think, again, it's a very nice detail, gets the whole point across that this is a Jarritos collaboration. And it's also, I want to say, a celebration of maybe Cinco de Mayo. I may be wrong about that, but it literally came out a day after Cinco de Mayo. So today's May 6th, and Cinco de Mayo was obviously yesterday. Had a great time, but anyways, that's diverting from the review. But anyways, when going into the back heel area now, we do have this Nike logo right here in green with the orange square around it. But what you may not notice is the fact that this is actually a direct comparison to the Jarritos logo. So when we actually get the right side of the shoe, that's where we actually see that Jarritos logo right there with the same green font and then the orange box around it, which again, I think was a nice nod and respect to Jarritos itself, and kind of just, again, gives a little more flavor to the shoe, no pun intended. Then when we go into the medial side right here, you can see that the same thing pretty much follows suit. So we do have that same quarter panel with the suede, the green Nike check, and all that type of stuff. But now let's just briefly go over to the right side of the shoe real quick, guys. So I just want to quickly mention that we do get 3 extra laces. So what we have right here is this green, I want to say not rope, it's kind of like a hemp lace. So I think this is actually pretty fire. So this is something that I actually did not know before right now. I thought it was just going to be a regular pair of green laces, but this is more of like that rope, kind of like the Travis Scott SB Dunk Lows, and I think that's pretty nice. Then next we have this kind of like sail. It's pretty similar to the laces that's already on the Jarritos sneakers, but it has this kind of like brownish tint to it, so that's pretty nice as well. Then we have the orange laces right here. This actually might be the most popish one, like that will really make the shoe go crazy. I would probably keep it simple, but I could see where if you cut out some tearaway pieces, then put this lace on, this joint might go really, really crazy. And then that's pretty much gonna conclude all the laces. And now let me just briefly go over the midsole area. So as you guys can see right here, we have our standard all white midsole. However, there is some orange stitching surrounding it to make the shoe pop in a subtle way, because it's not something that you notice unless you really look into it. But from far, it gives that kind of effect. Then we move on to the outsole, you can see where we have some more creative freedom. So instead of having like a standard base green outsole, what they did was add a little flavor to it again. So we have the green pretty much predominantly around the shoe, but we have this orange detail right here, which actually shows up towards the midsole area. Again, something very simple, but will make the shoe pop because the orange and the green kind of contrast each other, but they also complement each other. Then when we look at this SB logo right here, this is the foam area for more comfort, and it has that orange hit to it, which again is another just fire, flavorful detail. So now guys, the review's not over. We actually have some super fire insoles that I want to show you real quick. So on both of the insoles, we do have pretty much, not all of the flavors, but a bunch of flavors that Jarritos have in their brand. And I think this is a pretty unique detail, and also again pays respect to the brand. So just to name off a few of them, we do have the strawberry flavor, we have the tamarindo, which is tamarind, we have hibiscus, we have toronja, we have lime, we have mango, which again is one of my favorites, pineapple, limon, passion fruit, watermelon, guava, jamaica, piña. And what I'm noticing while I read this is actually the fact that some of the different flavors that are here are in English, but then they have the repetitive version of it in Spanish. So we have the Spanish version of it, and then we have the English version. And for example, when you look at this, it does say limon right here, but a fruit above it, it does say lime. So we have both the English and Spanish versions of these fruits, which I think is pretty nice as well. And then, yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much gonna conclude all the details. We have the Jarritos logo, we have the Nike SB logos, we have this different iteration, which I think is super fire, the hemp details and the underlayer of that tearaway, which is like, they went nuts on this collaboration, to be honest, guys. And I'm surprised because, again, when I first saw this, I wasn't too crazy about it. I thought it was a nice shoe, but after getting it in hand and getting all the different details and understanding the whole history behind it, this is up there for SBs of the year. But I do believe that Born and Raised is going to 100% take the #1 spot for SB Dunk of the year. But these will definitely come a close second. So anyways, guys, that's going to conclude the details as well as the history of the shoe. So now let's get right into this on for look, alright? So that's going to conclude the review as well as the on full look, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I did making it for y'all. As I said earlier, I definitely think that these are in the top 2 for SB Dunk of the year. However, I'm going to have to give the #1 spot to the Born and Raised SB Dunk low. But if I get it in hand next month and it's trash, then these are definitely going to be on the #1 spot. So let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. And other than that, y'all, don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share with your friends and family and all that. And just keep doing what y'all doing to help push the YouTube algorithms as well as help my channel grow. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.